Hello friends, my name's Maddie, welcome to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving book recs as the Folklore album by Taylor Swift. Folklore is one of my favorite albums of all time. It is my favorite album by Taylor Swift. I'm so excited. I get to see her in February in Japan and I'm so ready and I'm so excited because I've seen all of my friends get to go to the American tour, so I'm so excited that I got tickets to see her in Japan. So I figured, why not film this video? So the first song on Folklore is The One. I'm going to give it to Magnolia Park. So the reason why I gave this to Magnolia Parks and kind of the entire universe between Daisy Hates and Tara Sachs is because of the lyrics. But we were something, don't you think so? Roaring 20s, tossing pennies in the pool, and if my wishes came true, it would have been you. In my defense, I have none for never leaving well enough alone, but it would have been fun if you would have been the one. And I feel like this goes with so many of the relationships in this book. A lot of them are very back and forth. A lot of the times they don't end up together. It's very angsty. They're all over the place. Every single character in this book is a hot mess express, but you love them anyways regardless of their faults. So because of that, I went ahead and I assigned The One to Magnolia Parks. The next song on the album is Cardigan, and I'm giving it to two books. I'm first going to give it to A Darker Shade of Magic purely for the third verse, which is I Knew You'd Come Back to Me, and I feel like it just fits Delilah and Kel very well, as well as Rye and Aculard in the second book. This book is absolutely phenomenal. Basically, there are 4 different Londons, and Kel can jump between these Londons, and he meets Lila, and they get into a bit of trouble together, and I just think this book is fantastic because at the end, they go off, and that's kind of it, and they end up coming back together, and I just think this book is beautiful. The second book that I am assigning to Cardigan is Hot House Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. It is the second book in the Calloway Addicted series. It is about Daisy and Reich, and the reason why I'm giving it to them is because it talks about I knew everything when I was too young, and Daisy's on the younger side. There's a bit of age gap between Reich and Daisy. A lot of people criticize the relationship because she is so young. The lyric is, when they're young, they assume you know nothing. She's very almost mature for her age. She's been through a lot, considering she's like 18, 19 when the book starts out. So I feel like she and Reich kind of solidify Cardigan. The next song is Last Great American Dynasty, and I'm giving it to The Heiresses. This book is about a bunch of sisters. They're the heiresses to a diamond company. The oldest sister ends up tragically dying, and so they're trying to figure out what had happened because she doesn't seem like the sort of person who would commit suicide. They're trying to figure it out. There's this whole mystery going on. So much happens in such a short period of time. I would give absolutely anything for a second book because I love these characters so much. I had so much fun reading it. It is more on the YA side. It's been a few years since I've read it, but I still remember it. And so the reason I'm gonna give The Heiresses to Last Great American Dynasty is because of the lyrics. There goes the last great American dynasty. Who knows if she never showed up, what could have been? There goes the maddest woman this town has ever seen. She had a marvelous time ruining everything. And these sisters kind of have their hands in everything, and there's just a ton of drama that happens, and I think it's so fun. It was a really great read, and like I said, I would give anything to have a second book. The next song is Exile featuring Bon Iver. I am going to give it to not so much a book, but to 2 characters. I'm giving it to Selena and Kale from Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I think it fits them very well just because they gave each other so many signs and they were kind of missing these signs. It's almost like a hindsight 2020 situation where it's like we should have seen this coming. We were missing each other and communication was off, and because of that I'm giving it to them. Exile is about how when you're in a relationship and you're giving people signs that you don't want to be with someone else anymore, and you kind of keep missing the signs that you don't want to be with them, and you look back and you're like, oh, I missed everything they were telling me. The next song is My Tears Ricochet, and I'm giving that one to the entirety of Throne of Glass because of the I can go anywhere I want, just not home. That line is absolutely beautiful and stunning, and I feel like it explains so many different characters in this book. I feel like it's Rowan before he meets Aelin, it's Dorian, it's Kale, it's Aelin in general, it's Aiden, it's Lysandra, it's Fenris as well. It fits so many characters. I feel like it just really encompasses Throne of Glass, so it's going with them. On top of that, the line I didn't have it in myself to go with Grace, because when I fight you used to tell me I was brave. I'm dead. That's them. That's Throne of Glass right there. That's the summary of Throne of Glass. That's all you need. Just listen to my tears ricochet if you need to be convinced to read it. Up next we have Mirrorball. Mirrorball is about being kind of the center of attention when you're broken and shattered, and it becomes something beautiful, like a disco ball. It's all different pieces put back together. Because of that, I'm giving it back to Magnolia Parks as well. I feel like Magnolia is definitely a Mirrorball. The things that she does to get attention, the things that she does to get people to love her, I feel like it perfectly describes her. Especially in the third book in the series, it dives into her trauma, so you really understand what she's dealing with and what she's been handling, and that's not something that's really covered up so much in this first book. You kind of start to see the whole picture in the other books in the series. So you'll find me on my tallest tiptoes, spinning in my highest heels, love, shining just for you. And pretty much to me that just explains Magnolia and BJ and their entire relationship, because everything she does, it basically circles back to him. Even with BJ, I feel like he could also be a Mirrorball, because everything he does is about Magnolia at the end of the day. And they say that all the time, is everything is about Magnolia, everything is about BJ. And so to me that just kind of encompasses them super well. So the next song is 7. I had a bit of a hard time with this one. I ended up giving it to Addicted by Krista and Becca Ritchie. In this book, Lily is a sex addict, Lauren is an alcoholic. They are fake dating and covering for one another, but I feel like their trauma kind of encompasses the song, because they are looking out for one another. Because of the lyrics, I've been meaning to tell you, I think your house is haunted. Your dad is always mad and that must be why. And I think you should come live with me and we could be pirates. Then you won't have to cry or hide in the closet. And just like a folk song, our love will be passed on. As they grow older and they have kids, everyone kind of looks at them like this is what their love is, and it's very strong and it's resilient. The I love you to Moon and to Saturn, I feel like that's something they would totally say to one another. I don't know why, I just feel like that's their vibe. The next song is August. August is one of my favorite songs. I'm giving August to 2 books as well. I feel like Daisy Jones and the Six fits well with August because of Daisy and Billy's relationship. Back when we were still changing for the better, wanting was enough, for me it was enough to live for the hope of it all, and you weren't mine to lose. I feel like our lyrics that perfectly describe Billy and Daisy together and their relationship. And the fact that Billy was married and he and Daisy were kind of had this attraction to one another, but they could never act on it. And of course, because you weren't mine to lose. The other book that I am assigning to August is The Roughest Draft by Austin Sigmund Broca and Emily Wimberly. This book is about 2 authors. They are pretty much on a break. There was a falling out between them, and they decided for one last time during the summer they were going to write their last book together and finish out their contract and call it quits after that. And so they get back together. Katrina has a fiance, she's supposed to marry him. There's still that attraction between her and Nathan, so they're just kind of sitting this out, and he's sitting it out. And again, I think the "you weren't mine to lose" line pretty much portrays The Roughest Draft extremely well. The next song is This Is Me Trying. This Is Me Trying is about pretty much struggling with your mental health and when you're trying and no one kind of really recognizes it. I also gave this two books. I think I just finished The Rest of the Story by Tal Bauer. So this book is about Morgan. He is a hockey player and he is transferred to the worst team in the league. He immediately, when he gets there, he noticed something is going on. One of his old buddies is on the team as well, and he could just tell something is off. Within 24 hours of him landing in Boulder, he is made to be team captain. On other teams, he was very lay low. He just kind of wanted to finish out his career. He was like in his 30s, I believe. And so when he gets captain, he's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And then there is Shay, who is a rookie, but he is older than most rookies. He's like 24, 25, and all the other rookies are like 18, 19. They're like basically children. And so they're struggling to kind of pull this team together, and there's a lot of trauma that has happened to them. There was a lot going on, and it was so fantastic. It was so sweet. It really emphasizes on found family and just the things that they all do together as a team, the parties they have and the cookouts and the video game tournaments and hanging out at each other's houses. I think it's just so sweet, and it just kind of emphasizes their mental health and the importance of mental health. And so because of that, I think This Is Me Trying fits them very well, because especially towards the end when they just absolutely are like refuse to like give up on one another. I think it's just so beautiful and such a sweet story. I gave it 5 stars. The next book that I'm giving to This Is Me Trying is Next to You. Next to You is a friends to lover situation. The main character is randomly, drunkenly, mistakenly rides a bus one night, and her friend decide to fix it up. And she has a lot of trauma that she's going through, and so the hero is very patient with her, and I love that. And she starts therapy, and it's just, again, it just underlines the importance of mental health and healing yourself. So because of that, I give it to This Is Me Trying. The next song is Illicit Affairs, and I'm going to assign Thoughtless by S.C. Stevens. This is about Kira and her boyfriend. They move to a new city together, and they move in with her boyfriend's friend Kellen. He is a rock star. He's in a local rock star. He's in a band, and there's this attraction between them. Basically, her boyfriend ends up ditching her almost. He is transferred to a different department and has to move to a different city, so she's stuck alone in the city with no one, with no friends, but she's still dating the one guy and still has this attraction to her roommate. So it kind of goes from there, but I feel like it kind of sums up Illicit Affairs. If you don't like cheating in your books, this is one of those books you should avoid. It is very angsty, and a lot of the characters don't make super great decisions, but again, they're very young and immature, so I feel like they can have a pass. Certain lyrics are, they showed their truth one single time, but they lie and lie and lie a million little times. Don't call me kid, don't call me baby, look at this godforsaken mess that you've made me. You showed me colors that I can't see with anyone else. I feel like those lyrics perfectly explain Kira and Kellen together and their relationship, because obviously they're not supposed to be with one another while she has a boyfriend. The next song is Invisible String. This is my favorite song on the Folklore album. It is just about soulmates, and it ties into the Chinese legend of you and your soulmate having a red string attached to one another on your pinkies, and I think it's so sweet. And I had a really easy time, but also a really hard time deciding, because obviously my easy answer would be A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, because of 2 characters from this book I think they belong together. Obviously, there's like no question about it. But I feel like I didn't want to give myself the easy way out, because that would be, I like a challenge, okay? I like a good challenge. I also assigned When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata. Gracie and the Grump is a superhero book. It is slow burn. Main character Alex crashes into Gracie's yard, and she pretty much nurses him back to health for weeks on end. He does nothing but like sleep and eat her food. He doesn't talk to her or anything. He just like stares at her, and it is so funny. Gracie has the best inner dialogue of any of Mariana Zapata's characters, in my opinion, and it is so slow burn. Gracie is just absolutely hysterical. I absolutely loved it so much, and I 100% believe that those 2 belong together. Without a doubt, they belong together. They are soulmates. They are my favorite characters from Mariana Zapata. Mad Woman is the next song, and that is one that I also had a really hard time with assigning a book, and I ended up giving it to Ruthless People. In this book, there's 2 mafia families, and there is an arranged marriage between pretty much their leaders. The female main character leads her section of the mafia, and so that's very obviously not very common, but she's so tough and just hard and resilient, and I really like that about her. And she is like her way or the highway, and there's nothing like a mad woman, but it's saying she went mad. No one likes a mad woman. You made her like that, and you'll poke the bear till her claws come out, because basically if you mess with her, she'll kill you for the most part. So I think it fits her very well, and I really enjoyed it. I read the 4 books, whatever the whole series is. It was a really great series, especially if you like mafia. That's a really great mafia series. The next song is Epiphany, and this is also one of my favorite songs on the album. This was my second favorite song on the album, and I'm giving it to Song of Achilles. This is about Patroclus and Achilles, and they grow up together, they train together, they fall in love, and eventually the Trojan War breaks out. And I think this song fits them so well, especially because of the lyrics. Keep your helmet, keep your life son, just a flesh wound. Some things you just can't speak about. Only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just a single glimpse of relief, and to make some sense of what you've seen. I feel like it fits Achilles very well, especially towards the end of the novel. This book is absolutely so poetic. It is hands down one of the best books I've ever read. This is hands down one of the most beautiful books I've ever read, and it is definitely just absolutely amazing. Some of the quotes from this book are so beautiful and heart-wrenching, and they just make me cry. With you I serve, with you I fall down, watch you breathe in, watch you breathe out, I think fits them as well, because basically wherever Patroclus is, Achilles is, wherever Achilles is, Patroclus is. They were inseparable for the most part, and I just think the song is beautiful, this book is beautiful as well, and I think just together they just tie in so well together. The next song is Betty, and I'm giving it to The Words by A. Jade. This book is about Lennon and Phoenix. Lennon offers to tutor Phoenix, and they relate to one another a lot. He kind of has a rough home life. She is they're both aspiring musicians. Phoenix goes on to steal a song from Lennon, and he ends up making it big, whereas she, on the other hand, doesn't. They part ways because obviously she's very upset, and he does a bunch of other really bad things to her. It fast forwards a few years, he's a big rock star now, everyone loves him, everyone thinks he's a god and the best musician ever alive, and no one knows that the song he took is actually Lennon's song. The manager hires Lennon to be Phoenix's babysitter because he's struggling with like alcoholism and drugs and women and yada yada, so on and so forth. This book was very slow burn. The thing that I relate to Betty is because of him apologizing and groveling to her. Parts of it being like, I'm only 17, I don't know anything, but I know I missed you. If I showed up at your party, will you have me? Will you love me? Will you kiss me on the porch in front of all your stupid friends? If you kiss me, would it be just like I dreamed of? Would it patch your broken wings? So basically, would it fix her? Would it heal her? And I think it just fits them very well. And I'm so excited to keep reading this series as well. And hopefully we'll get the third book very soon. The next song is Peace, which the lyrics that I have pulled from here, the devil's in the details, but you've got a friend in me, would it be enough if I ever give you peace? And I'm giving that book to Feather by Olivia Wildeson. This is all three of the books together, but I think Feather especially connects to Peace. The main character is an angel, and she's trying to get their wings, so for every soul they save, they get feathers. The main character, Lay, is an angel, and she's trying to save Jared, who is part of the mafia. So his soul is pretty much like condemned. They know that he's not going to be reincarnated because he is like they call him triples, so he is a triple, so he's done like over 100 bad things. And so she is determined to save him, but for him, he's trying to figure out like why she wants to be with him. And the will I ever be enough if I can never give you peace is, to me, just screams Jared yelling that at Lay. Jared knows that he can never give Lay peace because she's always going to be an angel, and that he is a triple, and there's like no saving him. The first book absolutely wrecked me, and the second book like healed me and put me back together. The next song is Hoax, and I'm giving it to The Bridge Kingdom. This book is by Danielle L. Jensen. It is about Lara, who goes to another kingdom. She is marrying Aaron, and she is pretty much trained to kill him. Laura ends up learning a lot about the land, more about Aaron. She really ends up liking him as a king, as a person, and she kind of has to decide whether or not she's going to betray her own kingdom or if she's going to kill the love of her life. It is such a great series. It is a bit slow burn. It is a duology as well, so it does end on a really big cliffhanger. And it is a great fantasy romance if you're interested in a fantasy romance. The song Hoax fits them because of your faithless love's the only hoax I believe in. I don't want no other shade of blue but you. And basically eventually he figures out what she's doing and realizes he's been betrayed. The last song is my third favorite song on this album, and it is The Lakes. I am assigning the Iron King to the Lakes purely for the line, I don't belong, and my beloved neither do you, because Ash and Megan, they belong together, but there's a lot that happens and they don't belong in each other's kingdom. So Megan is half human, half summer fae, and Ash is a winter fae, and he's the prince of the winter fae, and pretty much they're trying to just figure out how to be together. For some of this book, there's a lot else that goes on, but we're focusing on their relationship right now. She can't be in winter, he can't be in summer, so it's like, how are we going to be together? So much happens, especially in this series. I love this series so much. Iron Knight is like one of my favorite books. Also, the lines, I'm setting off, but not without my muse, not without you, and basically like them determined not to leave one another behind. And I think It is so them. Because Ash doesn't want to leave Megan behind, Megan doesn't want to leave Ash behind. So I feel like the legs perfectly. That, and I feel like the legs is very summery. Megan's a summer fae. It just fits, okay? It fits. If you liked today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe and hang out and talk to me more about books. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.